and that are pulling you away from standing in the holy place. Tonight we're going to pray. You know, apart from what you said tonight to the group that you're in, you know other things that you did not say. There are other things that you did not say because you're embarrassed to say them, or they were embarrassing to say. Things that you are being influenced by, things that have been trying to influence you. And things that you're trying to get away from that influence, but it feels like you can't get away from that influence. God knows. You know. We're going to come before God's presence. We're going to enter into God's presence tonight.
Man.
We're before God's presence, but we just don't want to be before God's presence. We want to enter to God's presence tonight.
Man.
As we open our hearts before the Lord, we pour our hearts out before the Lord.
Man.
Some of you might put in your mind even right now, oh, these things they're not affecting me. Well, if you say they're not affecting you, it's because they are affecting you. That is the effect. That's one of the effects in itself. To think, oh, it's not affecting me. It's not really affecting me. It's not a big deal. It's part of the lying influence to bring those kind of thoughts. How many there's an influence in your life, in your mind, the way you see, the way you feel, the way you think, or the way you do things, or what you're doing, that you realize, man, I need to rid of this influence in my life.
Man. So many things.
How many of you tonight can say, there's an influence been trying to pull me. I haven't given into it, but it's strong. I feel like I'm beginning to give in. And you know what? You need to be fortified in the Spirit of God, and you need to pull away, not pull in, but pull away. We're gonna pray tonight. I've said this expression before. If we're gonna pray, let's pray. Let's not play. Let's not play around. Let's not play around. We're gonna pray. We're gonna pray. I think you know what I mean.
Amen.
It means we're gonna pour our hearts out before the Lord.
Amen.
I need to pour my heart out before the Lord. Don't go by what you feel. The girl said, "Oh, you know, going by what you feel, not what you know." In other words, people going by their feelings instead of going by faith. You might not feel like pouring your heart out before God, but go a little deeper and ask yourself, or tell yourself, but I know I need to cry out to God. I need to pour out my heart before God. How many of you don't feel like pouring your heart out before God? Be honest. How many of you don't feel like it? How many of you don't feel the need? I want you to raise your hand. I want you to be honest. How many of you don't feel the need? But I want to ask you the next question. How many of you know you have the need?
Hallelujah.
Now, what are we going to go by? Are we going to go by what we feel?
No.
I don't feel like pouring my heart out before God. Never wants to shut me up. Fly went in my throat. But he didn't win. I swallowed him. He didn't swallow me.
Hallelujah. Swallow up. Death has swallowed her.
A mosquito, something.
Yes, the sting of death.
How many of us know that we need to pour our heart before God?
Yes.
Amen.
Now, what influence are we going to, again, an influence, what influence are we going to give into? Are we going to give into the influence of, I don't feel like it? Or are we going to be led by the influence of the understanding that even though I don't feel, man, boy, do I need to pour my heart out before God.
Hallelujah.
I want you to think about that right now. I want you to think why you don't feel like it. Think, what are the things bearing influence upon you to make you feel that way? Is that the Spirit of God? No. But now I want you to think on the why you need, why you know you need, but even though you don't feel, but why you know you need. I want you to think of why you need to pour your heart out to God. I want you to think right now. I want you to think on the reasons why you need to pour your heart out before God tonight. And the answers to those two questions are going to move us to pour our hearts out to the Lord tonight. Realizing, wait a second, what's influencing my mind to not feel like it? Oh God, I don't want that. But then also to think, why do I need to pour my heart to God? This reason. And those of us that think on the answers to these two questions, the answers to these two questions are going to influence us tonight to pour our hearts out before the presence of the Lord. We're going to stand. We're going to stand before His presence.